Hey, what's up guys, it's Slikk here. I'm back again with another video. In this one, giving my thoughts and review for Doctor Strange, which I did just see in IMAX the other day. If you can't see it in IMAX, I definitely would recommend that you could. IMAX 3D, interestingly enough. The first time I ever experienced it was Batman v Superman this March. And I was very skeptical. I did not like that my theater only showed in IMAX 3D. I wanted to see it in regular IMAX. I hate the 3D glasses. I was like, that shit's stupid. I don't want to deal with that. And then I saw Batman v Superman in IMAX 3D, and guess what? I saw it 7 times after it in IMAX 3D, which is my formatting of choice now, and I can't even imagine watching a film in regular IMAX, except maybe like a Christopher Nolan movie like Dunkirk or something like that, but otherwise, really, especially this film, benefits so heavily from the 3D component, and if you can't get IMAX 3D, get regular 3D, and every theater has 3D. So yeah, today I want to talk about my thoughts on Doctor Strange, which is a film that I really enjoyed, and I'll explain to you why. And I think the biggest reason I really love this film is that whereas other comic book films this year that I also largely enjoyed, like Deadpool and Batman v Superman, merged genres. Of course, Batman v Superman and the political drama thriller realm, and Deadpool and comedy very heavily so. Not just a comic book film, in other words. This film is unapologetically a comic book film. And whereas some have said that the film is too formulaic, I wholeheartedly disagree. Although, yes, you have the basic, I guess, setup of somebody, and they go through a revelation, or a traumatic event happens to them, and they become a superhero, which is basically every superhero ever. Pretty much every hero has something like that. It is formulaic in that sense. It starts chronologically, it goes from beginning to end, and that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say that it's formulaic. Just in the magic and everything else, it really throws a wrench into things. Also, we've never seen a hero that's like a doctor and has the same sort of history that Doctor Strange does. And people have compared Doctor Strange to Tony Stark. The comparisons are such that they're rich and sort of assholes in ways, but it's very different here. Doctor Strange is like a he's got some psychological egoism going on there. He pretends that what he does as a doctor is to help other people, and that he likes doing that, but in actuality, it's very evident that he does it for himself and to inflate his own ego, thus the psychological egoism part of it. And that's not necessarily the same thing with Tony Stark. He doesn't really have those issues. He thinks very highly of himself. But, Tony is a hero to help other people, and at the beginning, as a doctor, Doctor Strange is not necessarily that, and we see, this is non-spoilers, but things happen that are vindicative that that's not the case by the end of the film. But yes, this film is a straight-up comic book movie. If you don't like comic book movies, you're not going to like this movie, because it is just over the top, and yes, so I guess you're mixing genres with fantasy and stuff like that, but that... yes, it's a big part of the film. I guess I'm sort of, it is true that it is merging with that genre, the sci-fi genre, but much less so. It really is a comic book film, and the layout of that is indicative of that. So let's talk about the actors in the film. I would say my biggest complaint with the movie is the actor of the Ancient One. This wrinkly, old-ass white chick with a shaved head is not the Ancient One. I don't buy her at all. Now, I've never read any Doctor Strange comics, okay, but when I see somebody like that, and I'm envisioning that role, I don't see a pasty-ass, bald white chick playing her. I just don't. Or him, whatever. So, if you want to change the gender of that person, and, that's fine, but I feel like the character was miscast, basically is what I'm saying. And when I see that character, I don't see the Ancient One. I don't see this person that is, omnipotent and omniscient and knows everything about the dark world and, all this sort of stuff, and it's like... again, you're like some pasty old white chick. I just didn't buy it. So, it's, and again, I don't approach from the perspective of like, oh, we need this many Asian actors, or, I don't approach from the social justice aspect, and people have gotten mad at me in the past where I've said, this character doesn't look right for the role, or I don't buy this character in the role, and people are like, oh, how dare you say that? It doesn't matter what you look like, as long as you embody the spirit of the character, then you could play anybody. And I just wholeheartedly disagree. And if I look at you and I don't see the character, then I don't buy it. And this pasty old white chick that was cast to play the Ancient One is a perfect example. And I think they probably should have cast an Asian one, or an Asian character, or anybody else, an Asian actor, or anyone else to play this role. And she, just to be clear, she did a very good job in the role. She was miscast. It's not to her fault. It's to the fault of whoever cast her, because she's not right for the role. But she did a good job, and her action scenes are actually the best. They're better than Doctor Strange's, which is not a fault of Doctor Strange, because his action scenes are very cool, too. Especially a certain character that is not necessarily a human being that assists later on in the film, that I won't spoil because it was a big surprise to me. I did not know that this was a part of Doctor Strange's power set. Yeah, I can't say anything more. But there's surprises in this film, and it is somewhat traditional in layout, but there's things that are going to surprise you in it. And definitely stay for the post-credit scenes. Not only there's two, so there's a mid-credit scene and there's also a post-credit scene. I would highly suggest that you stay for both. And the credits are excruciatingly long, longer than any Marvel film I've ever seen. It shouts out like all the Marvel corporate people, and then all the people that run the camera company, and all the CEO. I mean, it takes like 10 minutes to roll through it. So get out your phone once the first mid-credit scene rolls, and then wait like 15 minutes, and the post-credit scene runs. So anyway, I think that's about all I have to say. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor, and that's what I think really sells the film, is that these are, high-quality actors. They're mostly theater actors. The first time I heard of Benedict Cumberbatch was in a Hamlet play that I got extra credit my senior year of high school to go see. And that's the only reason I saw it. And the play was actually really bad, in case you're wondering. Benedict Cumberbatch was great in the play. And overall, I think that Shakespeare wrote a good play, so it wasn't to that fault. But the play was, it wasn't executed very well. But anyway, that's besides the point. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor, and he was great as Hamlet. He's great as Benedict Cumberbatch, as Doctor Strange here in this film. And he really does have the look for the character, by the way. And you really see that once he shaves. This is not a spoiler, it's in the trailer. Once he shaves, and that whole meaning of, him shaving is very telling of the film, of the event that happens to him in the film that leads to you saw it in the trailer. I just want to be careful about not spoiling, but there's definitely some really good stuff going on in this film behind the scenes that I think I was trying to pay attention to, and paid off for me in the end as well. So overall, I think the highlight of the film is the final action scene, which I'm not even going to mention a detail of because I didn't know anything about it before going into it. So I don't think you should either if you haven't seen that. But that's definitely the strong point. Overall, I think actually the most thoroughly enjoyable part of the film for me was actually the beginning. The first 30 minutes I thought was so good. The opening action scene, which does not feature Doctor Strange at all, I thought was the best action scene in the whole film. Not to say that you have nothing to look forward to after the first 5 minutes is over, because the action is thoroughly good throughout, and we're used to Marvel movies having good action. So, yeah, this movie is a total thumbs up for me. I loved it. I plan on seeing it again soon in IMAX 3D if you can, don't forget. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts on Doctor Strange in the comments below. My next video that I will be doing is a video ranking the 6 comic book films of this year from the best to worst. So be sure to stay tuned for that. That video is gonna rustle some jimmies, that's for sure. Some people are not going to like it very much, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna give my thoughts on the comic book films of this year. Sorry, a little bit of lag there. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed. My name is Slikk. We'll see you in the next one.